City like splash me, ride the biggest night news on the radio. About to hit another high, everything you wanna know. Put the scoop, make it fast. To facts tight, gotta make this moment last. We bringing go, half strip like in the candy with style. It's about to get wild. Let the Raiders roll. Yeah, let the truth unfold. Las Vegas in our veins, like a story told. People went through the speakers, shaking up your soul. Yeah, we Lunatik real. Always on the road. On the strip like some insights, navigate the night. Truth in every state, painted bitches so right. Love to with a brand new secret. Yo, no, listen to the soul star. Pull your organ that you can't ignore. The heart of Vegas need. The words you can't ignore. Let the Raiders roll. Yeah, let the truth unfold. Las Vegas in our veins, like a story told. Yeah, people went through the speakers, shaking up your soul. The Lunatic Radio Show, always on the road. Skylights in the desert, feel the rhythm of the beat. We're setting in the stage, making history in the heat. Voices rise and fall in a city that never sleeps. Yeah, the radio show keeps spinning. The secrets Vegas keeps. Let the Raiders roll. Let the truth unfold. Las Vegas in our veins, like a story told. Yeah, keep moving through the speakers, shaking up your soul. Yeah, the Lunatic Radio Show, always on the road. City like splash me, ride the biggest night news on the radio. About to hit another high, everything you wanna know. Put the scoop, make it fast. To facts tight, gotta make this moment last. We bringing go, half strip like in the candy with style. It's about to get wild. Let the Raiders roll. Yeah, let the truth unfold. Las Vegas in our veins, like a story told. People went through the speakers, shaking up your soul. Yeah, we Lunatic real. Always on the road. On the strip like some insights, navigate the night. Truth in every state, painted bitches so right. Love to with a brand new secret. Yo, no, listen to the soul star. Pull your organ that you can't ignore. The heart of Vegas need. The words you can't ignore. Let the Raiders roll. Yeah, let the truth unfold. Las Vegas in our veins, like a story told. Yeah, people went through the speakers, shaking up your soul. The Lunatic Radio Show, always on the road. Skylights in the desert, feel the rhythm of the beat. We're setting in the stage, making history in the heat. Voices rise and fall in a city that never sleeps. Yeah, the radio show keeps spinning. The secrets Vegas keeps. Let the Raiders roll. Let the truth unfold. Las Vegas in our veins, like a story told. Yeah, keep moving through the speakers, shaking up your soul. Yeah, the Lunatic Radio Show, always on the road. City like splash me, ride the biggest night news on the radio. About to hit another high, everything you wanna know. Put the scoop, make it fast. To facts tight, gotta make this moment last. We bringing go, half strip like in the candy with style. It's about to get wild. Let the Raiders roll. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? 10, 9, 8. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome
Rise, my nation. Gather around and prepare. Our pride will be restored. Our shadow will fall with wicked damnation. Rise, my nation. Rise! This is your nation. This is our nation. This is the Raider Nation. Can you dig it?
What it is, Raider Nation. Welcome to another episode of the Lunatic Raiders Show. Right here on Raiders Allegiance with your boy Lunatic Raider, man. Hey, shout out to each and every one of y'all. Thank y'all for pulling up. We got a good show for you today. You guys already know that the Raiders had an presser. What was it earlier, not that long ago, but with Chip Kelly, Geno Smith, and so forth. Well, we're going to stick to the Geno Smith and Chip Kelly dynamic because one is the creator of the offense, the other one's going to be the operator of the offense, and there's little tidbits of information within this press conference that gives you a little view of inside of this offense. So we're going to get into that, man. Shout out to the world's most dangerous chat, man. I appreciate y'all as usual. Thank y'all for pulling up. We're going to wait just a second. Let people start filing in because I just at the last minute sent out links to all the groups, the Raider groups out there, man. But it's gonna be a bomb ass show. Got little tidbits, little snippets of video of the press conference, and it's really detailed and defining as far as the approach as well as the other players on this roster that make up this offense, man. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna go out there on a limb. My big ass gonna get out there on a limb, and I'm gonna say, look for big things with this offense. What this team does this season is pretty much gonna be predicated on what the offense does and how well and soon they gel. There's new, like I said, there's a new offense. There's a new quarterback. There's new weapons. There's a, you know what I mean? You're shuffling a little bit on the offensive line to try to fine tune it and get it to exactly where it's at, where you can be productive in this offense. But Chip Kelly says a whole lot, just like what I assumed and what I perceive as Chip Kelly wants the quarterback that can do everything, so every play is on the table. And you know what I'm getting to. But shout out to everybody out there, man. I appreciate y'all, man. So let me get into the chat, man. Shout out to all y'all. Big Al in the building, man. Salute to you. Hope all is well with you, man. I appreciate you. Robert Pena already know he's in the building, and what's in the building with him? This.
Might have come. There you go. There you go.
Yes, indeed. Robert Pena, man. Salute to you, man. Appreciate you, man, for real. Billy Davis is in the building, man. Salute to you, my brother. Hope all is well with you and yours. Mike G, my guy, man. What it is, man, for real. Can't wait for the season, man. I hope you can slide out this way for a couple of games. I still ain't been able to run into you at the tailgates, and I went to the section you was at. But I'm going to do it again. It don't stop, and it won't stop. To the beat, too short. Shout out to everybody out there, man, for real. Richard Lyon in the building. Stop lying. The Raiders is going to win more than 6.5 games. Facts. Come on, bro. Shout out to everybody, man. I appreciate y'all. Who else we got in the building, man? We rolling down. Got my guys with me. Shout out to those that's on Instagram, that's on X, formerly known as Twitter, as well as the Facebook group Raiders Allegiance, man. We are in here, man, for real, for real. We're gonna go into some snippets of this press conference that we had. I'm tying in Geno with Chip Kelly because they got to go hand in hand. You know what I mean? You can't have one without the other. You can't have the offensive coordinator and no quarterback, and you can't have a quarterback with no offensive coordinator. So it's going to be real detailed in defining what these guys are talking about. Desert Raider, what it is, man. Salute to you. I see you, my brother, man. Thank you for pulling up, man. Appreciate it. Yes, indeed, man. We're just gonna wait just a little bit, man. They're coming in. We want to get as many people up here in this chat. Man, please hit that like, man, if you have not done so. If this is your first time here, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the like, leave a comment, and hit that notification bell as well if you want to be notified of all the content I release, even breaking news. But yeah, man, we got some good content, man. We're gonna start off with Chip Kelly. What he had to say. There was some things that I took from it, like, okay, I understand that. Oh, and he also clarifies why Genty was asked to change his stance. And hold on, here it go. Chip Kelly said that did not come from him. He does not coach positions, that's true. He's an offensive coordinator. The running back coaches do that, and they implemented the fact that they wanted Genty to start off not standing straight up but bent knee, and then he explains why he used the basketball defender analogy. Was not you're on defense or you're playing basketball. It was because he was trying to explain to him to keep his knees bent. And I understand that. I understand keeping your knees bent. And he says it too. All sports but all sports, they want you to keep knees bent because it keeps you ready. You know what I mean? Because usually when you're standing straight up, you got to bend your knees to go. That's the explosiveness. You got to bend it like a coil. You know what I mean? A coil got to come down before it can explode. They want your knees bent. We learned it in wrestling. In basketball, same when you play defense and when you dribble, your knees are bent. Baseball, when out there ready to catch, playing shortstop, center, not even center field, but shortstop, first, second, third base, you're bent knee. So I can understand that. But let's get into it, man. Shout out to y'all, man. We're gonna get into the content now. Let's start off with Chip Kelly. Which one I want to start off with first? Let's start off with Chip Kelly explaining the Genty situation. So let me go ahead and die down this music, and then we'll get into the content right now. Enjoy.
Ashton made a lot of headlines when he said you asked him to change his stance.
All right, let's get that clarified.
Okay.
Dylan McCullough, our running back coach, is in charge of stances, steps, alignments, assignments, and techniques. So he talked to him about that. I gave him an analogy of an athlete being in a bent knee position to make a play, and that kind of got blown into. I haven't told anybody on this team to be in any stances because I don't coach a position. So, but it's a bent knee game. You know, baseball is, you look at before the ball snapped in baseball or the pitch is thrown in baseball, everybody's got their knees bent. In any athletic sport you're playing, you got to bend your knees. And if you got to run a flat route on Fred Warner, you better be in a position to run because that dude can fly. You know, so all we're trying to do is put guys in positions to make plays, and he's adapted really well from going from here to here. So it literally is about 3 inches. So I really don't think that is that big a deal. So, but he's awesome, and he's such a coachable guy that you can do a lot of things with him. You know, I think he can play in the slot. You know, he can play in the backfield. He can do a lot of different things. So that's he's special.
So that's Chip Kelly's explanation of what happened, why it happened. And I'm not mad. Like you said, it's only a difference of 3 inches. It's not a big deal. A lot of us content creators and outside people made a lot of hoopla over the fact that, oh, why are they changing it? It's not broken. Him bending his knees and standing straight up, I'm pretty sure it ain't gonna change how he runs. It has nothing to do with how he runs, but it has everything to do with coming out and starting to run. They want to be explosive, and like you said, when he talked about other players and how they need to be ready, he just needs to be ready. I think it was a moot point. It's not nothing major. It's not like it's gonna make the needle move on anything, whether he stands straight up or he don't. You know what I mean? So that was just that thing. It's just little tidbits I want to get into as well. Shout out to everybody out there, man. I appreciate y'all. Let me see what else we got up here. That's what she said. You stupid. You stupid. That's what she said. All right, man. Let's continue on. We got Chip Kelly with some more snippets. Here is Chip Kelly talking about adapting to his personnel with the play calling and so forth. Let's go.
I think you always adapt to your personnel. There's not a system like you'd say, hey, we're going to do this. And then if that's not the strength of your players, I think part of the OTA process for us is is getting to understand what the strengths of these players are, and then how do you play to those strengths? You know what I mean? Some teams are heavy running back laden. Some teams are heavy wideout laden. Some teams the quarterback's just a drop back guy, but he's not a movement guy. You know, it all depends on who you have personnel wise, and then you try to fit in their strengths into the scheme that you're going to run. And we have a lot of really, really good coaches on our staff, so it's also a blending of that, like where they came from and what they feel really confident in doing, and then really making an evaluation of what each individual group, offensive line, tight ends, running backs, quarterbacks, wideouts, do best, and then how do we match that up with a total system and a scheme, because there's enough out there that we've all done, but it's just, you know, the key is matching to our guys' strengths and what they do really, really well.
Raider Shield family, I see you in here, man. I appreciate you. And it could be that too, that you really don't want to tip your hat to defenses, because, you know, on defense, you look for any advantage you can get. Does he do this with his foot? Does he, you know what I mean? It's all kind of things you want to get an advantage of to get a jump on the offense as a defensive player. So it can be all of that. You know what I mean? Two things could be the same at once. That's just what it is. But yeah, I agree with you. I agree. It could be that as well. Let me see. So, like he said about adapting your offense to the strengths of your personnel, and that's exactly what a good offensive coordinator should do. You know what I mean? You don't try to force your players to do what you want them to do. You try to marry both, you know what I mean? The player as well as the system. So you have to really sit there and like he said, there's film that they go through, analyze, go over with a fine-tooth comb as far as what the players that we have, what they can and they can't do. Now, I know as an offensive coordinator, you would hope that that player can do everything, because it makes it that much more easier for you to play call. There's nothing you have to take off the table. You remember yesterday we were talking about quarterbacks, comparing Geno and Aiden O'Connell. Aiden O'Connell cannot do everything Geno Smith can do, but Geno Smith can do everything Aiden O'Connell can do. So I'm knowing as an offensive coordinator, if you got one quarterback that can use his legs and is mobile and one that's not, that's going to limit my play calling to, and not limit it to saying, oh, you only got two plays. No, limited meaning I'm not able to call the RPOs and the quarterback keeps. And, you know, there's different plays that I would love to call because we have that personnel. And Chip Kelly's he's going to talk about that as well. Matter of fact, let me find. Matter of fact, we're going to get into the Chip and Geno relationship right now. So this is going to be Chip Kelly on Geno Smith, what he brings, and you can tell by how highly he speaks of Geno that Geno is a perfect fit. Not perfect. It's not perfect. There's always can be better. Perfection, it can never be caught, but you can chase it. You know what I mean? So this is Chip Kelly on Geno Smith, what he brings to the Raiders.
The beauty of Geno is that Geno's been in multiple systems now, and there's a lot of things Geno can do. You know, so I don't think you can just pigeonhole him. I think he runs better than people really give him credit for. You look at the 2-minute drive against the 49ers at the end of the game, and he runs it in for the winner. I think he can beat you with his feet. He can keep plays alive with his feet. He's extremely accurate. He gets the ball out of his hand quickly. He can be a movement guy, but he can also be a drop back guy. You know, and that's, you know, Pete and Greg Olson, our quarterback coach, had a great understanding because they've coached him for such a long time. And what we saw, you know, in terms of Pete's evaluation, Noli's evaluation of him, is what I've seen here. You know, I think whatever we fit into schematically, offensively, I think Geno can handle all of that. Because Geno's a football guy. Like, Geno loves ball, you know, and you'll get a phone call after OTA, after phase 2. You know, we'll talk on a Tuesday night about what transpired in that day. And we're going against ourselves. Like, we hadn't gone against the defense yet, but have a conversation about this. And then how do you see this? And, you know, and really lean on him a little bit because of his wealth of experience. And he's been through different coordinators in this league and some really good ones. So, like, hey, how did Shane do this when you were with him? Or how did Grubb do this when you were with him? And kind of pick his brain that way and then put together what's the best thing for us going forward. But he's great. Geno's literally like a second coach. You know, when you're in that room with him and Greg Olson, it's, you know, there's a lot of ideas going around, and then it's just a matter of corralling it, because sometimes you can have too many ideas. Like, let's try to do a million things, and then you don't get good at one thing. But, you know, his football acumen is really off the charts. It's impressive to be around him.
And see that's a plus for our offense. When you got guys such as Chip Kelly as the offensive coordinator speaking on the quarterback Geno as being an extra coach, that's what he brings to the table. That is going to work for us in the long run to really get this team on top, because I always said that our offense was the side of the ball that needed to catch up to the defense. The defense, even with all the injuries last year, still was ranked 15th. That's just letting you know what the potential of this defense can be if healthy. Even when they weren't healthy, they were 15th in the league. So now we got to get our offense caught up to the defense. If you can get your offense and your defense on a parallel where they're equivalent, then you have something where you can score points and your defense can stop teams from scoring. Now you can start accumulating wins, and then we can start talking about playoffs and then potentially even more after that. But Chip Kelly makes a good point. Now, the best take that I got from Chip Kelly is this next one, where he really gets into breaking down the evolution of the offense. But if you listen carefully, you can tell what it is about an offense that excites him, that because you're only going to speak of the things that you pay attention to, that you like. You're not going to mention stuff that's not prolific and something that's not even newsworthy. You're not going to mention it, but you're going to speak on the things that you agree with. Usually the first thing, and this is in vernacular, when people speak, the things that they talk about is the things that's on their mind, the thing that they most likely will probably agree with or that they really disagree with. But if it's something on a common ground that they understand and they appreciate, that's the first thing out their mouth. So listen to what Chip Kelly says, and we'll break it down after this, and it explains exactly why you would want a quarterback that can do everything, and exactly why, if you don't have a quarterback that can do everything, Aiden O'Connell, the running and mobility part of it, some of those plays have to be put up until you find the personnel that can do it. He says it out of his mouth. It's not me. Don't shoot the messenger. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I see you, Navy vet, man. Thank you for all that you do, my brother. I appreciate it for real. In the chats, sharing the links, man. Marcus Banks, man, salute to you as well. Hope all is well with you and the fam bam, for real. Did I miss anybody else? Raiders Shield family. I think we got just about everybody in here, man. Let me scroll down and see. Somebody say, okay, we good. All right, so let me see. Concentrate on the road before. Concentrate on the road. All right, so here's Chip Kelly on the evolution of the offense, and listen carefully to the key words and phrases that he used to let you understand what it is that excites him with offenses.
Coach, how have you seen the evolution of the offenses from the time high flying there in Oregon, win a national championship last year, where you are now, back in the NFL, and offensive skill players as well?
Yeah, I mean, the game is cyclical. You know, I go way back with the first time the Dallas Cowboys and Tom Landry ran the shotgun. They were like, what was that? But that was single wing football that people had been running for all the time, and Dutch Myers and TCU was doing it in the 50s with 5 wide receivers and running around, and everybody thinks, well, they've got all these wide receivers on the field. They did that before. You know, the game goes on and on if you're a historian of the game, and I enjoy that part of it. But I still think it's still about fundamentals. It's still about who can block the best and who can keep their quarterback clean so that he can throw routes, who can sink, plant, cut, and create separation so that they can catch the football when it's thrown to them. You know, who tackles better on defense? You know, can you make a guy miss in the open field, or does the end-block guy make the play? It's still a fundamental game, but it takes ebbs and flows, and it's neat watching its evolution and how it goes from this to this to this, because if the defense has an advantage, somehow the offense catches up, and then they have to change, and then the offense comes up with something new, or something they think is new, but then all they're doing is studying what people did in the way past. You know, you look at some of the things that like Josh Allen's doing, or Lamar Jackson, that's single wing football where you're snapping it to the quarterback, and he becomes an extra back because he's not the running back. He's actually a quarterback that can run, and that's a different level. You had never really seen that in the NFL before, like people that were really going to run the quarterback, you know, because is he going to last and play the next game? Now, when you have 2 special talents like that, you can do that. So it's been fun to watch it, you know, and I think the guys that are really good at it can figure out what's the best thing to apply to the group they have based on the personnel that they have. So I'm always a fan to kind of see what's next, and then once you see what's next, is that applicable to what we do, or is that, that's good, but I don't think because of what we have personnel wise, that kind of fits what we do. So you just kind of file it away, and then maybe a year or two later, if one of those players comes into your program or organization, then you can say, hey, we could kind of start to do a little bit what those guys are doing over there because we have a similar type player. But it's always about, like you said earlier, adapting your personnel and finding out what their strengths are and then trying to play to those strengths. So.
See, that was telling. He mentions Josh Allen and he mentions Lamar Jackson, mobile quarterbacks coming from the old school wing T. They, like he said, the evolution of the game is always consistent. Now, there's going to be times you have personnel that can't do what you would like to do. So you file that away until you get the personnel who can. That says a whole lot. When you know your limitations, you don't try to exceed them because you can't exceed them. So thus, this is why I get back to everybody, these AOC fans. I'm going to tell y'all, hey, you're going to need more KY jelly to, you know what I mean? But what I'm saying is AOC does not provide you with the strengths that somebody like Chip Kelly, who is a historian of offenses. And here's one thing that he said that I'm knowing otherwise that could be true, is how he said he can't wait to see what the next thing is. But here's the thing. Why wait until to see what the next thing is when you can make the next thing? And that's Chip Kelly, constantly evolving the offense, adding this, adding that. But like, once again, you got to have the personnel to do something at that magnitude of an offense where it might require a player to be able to do this, and the player that you have can't. Geno Smith and AOC all day long. You see how highly he speaks of Geno Smith. He mentions Geno Smith can do it all. He's mobile. He can run. Go watch the film against the 49ers. This is when I tell you, when people speak to you, the things that they speak of are things that they remember that caught their attention, whether it's negative or positive. And everything he spoke on Geno was positive. So I'm knowing he gets excited, literally and figuratively, in his pants and in his mind, that a mobile quarterback that can do everything excites him because it opens up what you can do play calling. You want to be able to have as many plays at your disposal to keep those defenses on their heels and trying to figure out what they're doing. Maybe this set looks like this, but you run this out of it instead of what you did last time. Make them keep thinking. See, the defense is the part of the ball where you want to be thoughtless. You don't want to have to think. It must be muscle memory. You want it to be simplistic, where it doesn't have to be too hard for one to understand and just go out there and play. It's just react. That's all you want to do is react. You don't have to sit and think, okay, what I got to do, then react. Because that's every second that it takes for you to try to analyze something is every second that offense is already in motion doing it. So you're behind the 8 ball already. So I'm noticing Chip Kelly wants to do a lot because he says when you mention Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, AOC is neither one of those. Wing T you would never do with AOC. And for him and for Chip Kelly to mention the history of the wing T and where it came from in the 50s. He went back to the 50s. He's a historian of offenses. That's why he's so prolific when it comes to creating offensive plays, because he's taking a little bit from the past and re-evolutionizing it to the present. That's what gives us the advantage. We have someone who does not have a stale offense that we've seen time and time again, where we just have to, now all other teams have to do is study the defenses that stopped it. You got to constantly keep creating something new and unseen because you have no answer for something you don't know. So I like Chip Kelly. I like the way he approaches the game. I like his ability to create offense and use the past as an influence to be great now. So with the weapons that we got, we're going to get into the weapons as well. I'm not done. I just want to cover the aspect of Chip Kelly and what he perceives, his ideologies with offense. Now I understand that he's an evolutionary when it comes to offense. He studies the past to redirect the future. And I can't wait. Like I said, what he sits there and says, and it cracked me. I laughed when I heard it when he said, I can't wait to see what's next. Why wait to see what's next when you can be the next? You can create that. You can say, I can't wait to see what I create next. Because I know that's the kind of mindset he has, bruh. He with the weapons we have, it's going to be very this offense will not be like any other that we've seen. Might be similar. You might have similar strengths of players that we have that might match what he was when he was with Philly or with Oregon or Ohio State or UCLA, but none of them are exactly the same. I don't think he ever had a tight end like Brock Bowers in anywhere he went. I don't think the possibility of him having a Genty anywhere he went. So I don't think he ever had a Jacoby Meyer who did not even drop one pass last season. 100% catches on 100% targets. I don't think he ever had that. So there's different things that he has at his disposal that he has not seen before, which I know the creative juices get to flowing like, ooh, I can do this with Genty and Bowers. Ooh, I could do this with Jacoby and Thornton. Oh, and he spoke. I just didn't do a snippet of Thornton, but he talks about Thornton as being built for the outside linebacker. I mean, not linebacker. I'm tripping. As the outside wide receiver, which will be your one wide receiver. He sees the potential in that and spoke highly of him being the size he is and as fast as he runs, and talked about his cuts. So I'm knowing, even though you did not see a lot in Thornton's route tree at Tennessee, go back to Oregon where he did. See, we're forgetting where they come from and only look at where he was at. Oregon, he if you're at Oregon, you're not just running sevens all game long. You're going to be you're running route trees. You know what I mean? So Thornton has that ability, and Chip Kelly reinforced that by marveling in the way he cuts. So I'm knowing he has that ability, but to be 6'5" and run a 4.3 flat, that's scary. And he even mentioned there's only a few of those who can do that. Megatron being mentioned as one. So there's a lot that we have to look forward to. My 2 cents, what it is, man. Salute to you. Who else we got up in here, man? I got to make sure I got everybody listed. We got Jason Downs in the building, man. Salute to you. Who else we got up in here? I gotta scroll up and catch y'all, man. We on a roll today. Raider Paul, I already know what you done dropped earlier, Raider Paul, because you always stay consistent. You like a Chip Kelly offense. You stay consistent. Hold on, let me quit. Here you go.
From out of town. There you go. There you go.
There you go. There you go. But yeah, man, hey, there's a lot to take from that, man. So now let's get into the other realm of the spectrum of an offensive coordinator and his quarterback. Let's go to the quarterback now. Geno Smith also was at this press conference and said some things that kind of like, okay, coming from the quarterback perspective, talk about Chip Kelly, Genty, and the weapons that he has with the Raiders this year. So without further ado, man, we're going to get into this. Let me find which one I want to do first. Okay, we're going to go into Geno speaking on his new weapons with the Las Vegas Raiders, man. Let's go.
They're making my job tremendously easy to be out here with these young, talented players, man. I think we have a really good team, a really good, array of weapons, and just a bunch of different guys that can do a lot of great things. And so, obviously Brock is who he is. Getting to know Trey, getting to know Jacoby, and watching Michael go out there and make plays. Ashton's coming along. The offensive line's doing a great job. I think Chip is, calling great plays, and it's really easy for me. I just got to go out there and be myself and get the ball into their hands and let them be special.
Exactly. Get the balls in their hand, pause, and let that sounds hella wild. Put the balls in their hands and let them be special. Hey, be careful, Geno, because we know, hey, you dealing with the nation. We ain't all like cracked up. We like some of us is out to lunch with no sandwich, bro. So we gonna take it a run. Give them the balls and let them be special. I don't know if you talk about letting the person who gets the balls be special or let your balls be special in the hand of those who has them. But no, I agree totally. And I always said this. A quarterback does not have to be more than what he is. I don't like the quarterback that thinks he has to force a big play. You can make a big play, but don't force a big play, and that's how interceptions come to be. Get the ball into the hands of your playmakers. Let them make the big play. That's all you have. We got so many playmakers on the offense right now with Michael Mayer and Bowers and Trey Tucker and Thornton and Besh. I didn't even mention Besh, which they said he's showing his ass in OTAs for real. So I think our wide receiver core could be solid with two young rookies in that squad that still has room to develop. It's gonna be fun to watch this with Chip Kelly and the way he's gonna create around these guys. It's gonna be Marcus Banks, you stupid. It's gonna be something to see. You know what I mean? Shout out to Just Raiders, baby man. Salute to you. Appreciate you for pulling up. Yes, indeed, we in the building, man. So yeah, man. So him being excited, he has to be excited with his weapons. It makes his job easier. All I got to do is get them the ball, and I let them do what they do. And if you guys don't know, Geno Smith has some of the prettiest balls you have ever laid your eyes on. For real. His balls are so pretty. You go watch OTAs and watch this man throw these balls. I mean, it seemed like everything's a tight spiral, and it's not the kind of pass that you throw to a receiver where they have to stop, reach back. It looks like it's right on point, but I still know there's room for improvement because he has to get used to these weapons. They're still not on the same. It's not going to happen just in OTAs. You're going to have to iron out the kinks. I expect, like I said, what this team does this year is going to be mostly due to how quick the offense can gel, how fast the offense from the system, the quarterback, and the new weapons and the offensive line, depending on what direction you go at the guard spots. We know what the left, right, and center is going to look like, but we don't know what the guard is going to look like, left and right guards, because there's going to be competition. But if this offense can gel quickly, and usually I give about a 4-week period. 4-week period, you give that offense, because the defense is going to be, it's still under Patrick Graham. You still got the main guys that's out there that's going to be running with this team. You might change up the second. Well, not might. You have changed up a little bit of the secondary. You still got Palomal coming back. You got Jacorian Bennett coming back. But now you got the additions of Jeremy Chin. You got Eric Stokes. You got Porter that you just drafted that shows amazing potential that they've been saying coming out of OTAs. So I'm looking forward to maybe even a combination of a Jacorian Bennett and a Porter as your corners. But there's a lot of length, a lot of long, lanky secondary players that cover a lot of area when it comes to defending passes. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Let's get back more into Geno Smith. Geno has some more to say. Let's listen to Chip or listen to Geno Smith talk about Chip Kelly. This is a very important relationship on any team on the offense, that your coach, your offensive coordinator, and your quarterback is on the same page and they understand each other. We already heard what Chip Kelly says about Geno. He's an extension of the coaching. You know what I mean? And he can do anything. He's mobile. He can sit in the pocket. This is the thing that Chip Kelly covets in his offense. Now let's see the other end of this with Geno Smith's appreciation for Chip Kelly. Let's go.
Geno, what is it like working with Chip Kelly? He recruited you, and now you're playing for him.
In many ways, it's a dream come true because I've always revered, Coach Kelly, and I've always thought he's been an excellent coach throughout his career, and a guy who I've, really, wanted to play for. Even back then when I was in high school, it didn't work out that way, but God works in mysterious ways, and here we are today in Las Vegas. And so, being with Chip, you get to know him as a man, know what he's about, outstanding human being, but also just a great mind. And, he has a great mind for football and understands how to motivate guys, and I think that's a really good trait that he has.
How would you describe this offense?
I think the offense is, like I say all the time, we want to be efficient. That's the main thing, right? We want to do well in the situations, the third downs, the red zones, but also we want to be explosive, And so when teams come up and play us in man-to-man, we got guys who are going to win those matchups, and I really feel good about where we are. Still a work in progress, but we're in a good spot, and we just got to keep working hard to get better.
Shout out to Raider Goon, man. I see you, man. Thank you for pulling up, as well as Hit Stick Stepper in the building, man. Salute. But yeah, man, Geno and Chip Kelly is gonna be just fine. They're gonna just be just fine. Like I said, what is all gonna predicate around is how soon does this offense get it, understand what they're doing, and hit the ground running. I don't give them. I let them be a little rocky. I'm just guessing. I'm assuming that it's gonna take. Well, I'm not assuming. We all know it's gonna take time, but then you never know. Sometimes it's just like relationships. Sometimes in life, there's people that you're meant to be around, that you're meant to come across and meet. That's just the way the universe works. People that you come across and you develop a rapport with and have a good friendship and a line of communication. It was meant for that to happen. Like, okay, I'm gonna get off the subject here. I'm just gonna give you an example. I seen a picture that was taken. This was online. I seen this. This was a picture taken years ago at Disneyland. So it was a young girl whose parent took a picture of her, some other little kids with one of the not animals, but one of the people dressed up as the characters at Disneyland. And in that same picture, behind her was another parent, a father with a stroller and his son. Years later, those two got married. Never met before. And don't say, oh, they were not even living in the same town. They were in different, you know what I mean? But later on in life, they got married. Sometimes you cross paths with those people, and sometimes you won't recognize them until later. But I think the universe has a way of putting certain people together, friends or relationships. And I think, and note, and why I'm saying it like this is to give you an analogy of what did Geno Smith say. He was recruited by Chip out of high school, and it just didn't work out that way. Then in the pros, Chip Kelly tried to recruit him again to Philadelphia. It did not work out that way. But now with the Raiders, it worked out that way. Just because you miss one opportunity, don't mean another one won't be right on its heels. You just have to be patient, stick to developing who you are. And when it's time in life, in the universe, for you to be in that person's life, whether it's a friendship or more, it will happen. But what you do with it is on you. So now the universe has brought Chip Kelly and Geno Smith together. Now it's on them to see what they do. And I expect it to be an explosion. I expect it to be an explosion. And here's the other key factor. You know how Pete Carroll's known for connecting people, for people to connect. My 2 cents, man. Shout out to you, man. I appreciate you. For real, man. For the $5 donation, man. I appreciate it, man. Everything goes to this channel, man, for giveaways, pool parties, and everything, man. For real. Chip Kelly, win the day motto. Let's fucking go. For real. But like I was saying, I think the glue to keeping Geno, well, actually, not. I ain't gonna say, it's the glue. Pete Carroll would be the glue between Chip Kelly and Geno Smith, because his whole ideology of connecting people, make sure everybody's connected. He connected. Think about it. It was Pete Carroll who connected Chip Kelly with Geno Smith. Who brought Geno Smith in? Who wanted Geno Smith here as a quarterback? Pete Carroll, because of previous understandings of him and dealings with him and knowing what he wants to do. And I know this is what happened. Pete Carroll sat there and thought about, okay, I got Chip Kelly. That's the offense. I want to be dynamic. And I know Chip Kelly has that mind. If he has the right pieces, he'll create something special. So what does Pete Carroll go and do? Shit, let's go get Geno Smith. It's perfect for what Chip does. Chip wants a guy that's mobile and can throw. Dual threat. That's Geno Smith. And it proves in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding because Chip Kelly tried to recruit Geno Smith twice and failed. But the third time's a charm. What is it that Pete Carroll teaches at USC? How people connect. He connected these two. It was Pete that made this happen. And what he just did was possibly create one of the most dynamic offenses in Raider history. And I'm not saying football history, Raider history. One of the most prolific offenses in Raider history. Why do I say that? Because they're still not done building it. That's the scary part. We know we got Ashton, we got Bowers, we got Jacoby, we got Geno added. Now you're trying to get the offensive line right. But what happens next year when you do find the best wide receiver in the draft and you decide to bring him in? Or maybe you don't even need a wide receiver. Maybe you go defense. Maybe you find your future quarterback. Maybe it's not Cam Miller. But I bet you this. I bet you Cam Miller is exactly what Chip Kelly wants. Thus is why he got drafted in the 6th round. They knew they can get him in the 6th. But nobody going to covet Cam Miller out of FCS, North Dakota State. Who was after that? When everybody had their eyes set on Cam Ward, not Cam Miller. The M was upside down with an AD at the end. So it's like, I'm looking at it like, okay. We look a little better now this year, but we still have proved to us that it is better. Fuck what it looked like, it's what it is. Are we better? I don't want to look better. I want to be better. Can we score over 20 points a game? If you can get this team to be around 24, 25, we got action. We got action. But I'm going to tell you this. Don't be surprised if there's a few games that we really throw points up on this board, because it's starting to look scary, spooky, hilarious. Now let me quit. Shout out to Kendrick Lamar. I'm going to the concert Saturday, so I'm kind of juiced. I'm in my K-Dot space right now. But man, this thing, it kind of excites you, but we've been excited before. And nothing. So I'm kind of precautious with, I'm not gonna. I want to see it unfold. I want to see exactly how a real franchise builds a team and make it a competitor off bat with the right coaches and the right personnel. I want to see this because we ain't seen this shit in a minute. Last time we seen it was 2002 in the Super Bowl versus Tampa Bay. They went out there and got guys formerly of other teams that were stars and still had a little bit more gas in their tank to push this team to the Super Bowl. Your Jerry Rices. I mean, it just, you look at it like your Eric Allens, your Rod Woodsons. That's the one route. That's the one route of being a competitor right now, was going getting some old school cats that still got something left in them, but you put them together, it's something remarkable. But the other way of doing it, building it through the draft, like the old school Raiders did. The Raiders that were winning Super Bowls was built through the draft. You added some key components that was free agents, but majority of that team was built through the draft. We see Philadelphia doing it. Exactly. Philadelphia is doing how it was supposed to be done and how it used to be done. So Raider Fool Chris, salute to you, my brother, for real. So, okay, we're going to get in a little more. What time is it? Yeah, man, we getting down to it, man. Let me see. Geno also spoke on, let me see, he talked about his weapons. He talked about Chip Kelly. Oh, let's get into some good shit now, though. Let's get into this. This is Geno Smith talking about Genty, what he brings and so forth. I like Geno Smith. I think Geno Smith is the perfect quarterback situation for us at this time in life to be put with a Chip Kelly and have these young guys around him. He is a very good teacher. He's a very good leader. This is someone that will take his time out of his day to make sure these other guys get better. And with these young guys that we have, we are the third youngest team in the NFL, y'all. Geno Smith is the oldest dude on this team at 34 years old. The oldest dude is 34. And he's the only one at 34. And what's the other 30 guy? Elandon Roberts, I think, is 31. This is a very, very young team. And it's going to get younger because next year's draft, with the additions of, oh boy, we got from Philadelphia and Denver out of their front office, is really going to add to what this team gets in the draft and free agency. These scout, president and player personnel? Oh yeah, it's going to get even better than this. That's the scary part, bro. Hey, shout out to Mark Davis. I know it took him a few hit and misses, but bro, I think you finally you cracked the code. You unlocked the combination of the lock. And you finally figured it out with the right tandem of people to come in here and right this ship and get us back on point. So with that being said, man, let's get into Geno Smith talking about Genty. I love Geno. Geno is a hellified leader, man, and this team needed that for real.
You know, I think Ashton, just from getting to know him, man, he's so wise beyond his years. Just super humble. You know, for all the accolades he's gotten to be one of the highest drafted running backs in a while. Super humble, super hardworking, asking the right questions. You know, he wants to learn from the vets. And, I mean, he's special with that ball in his hands. We know that. And we got to keep getting it to him so he can go out there and be great. But, you know, we'll see when the pads come on exactly what he's about because, you know, that's truly what makes him different is his ability to break tackles and, you know, bounce off of contact and continue to run. But just in the short time he's been here, he's picked up the offense well, and he's doing a great job. So, you know, he's got to keep it up.
Now, this is what I look at when I hear that. This is what I hear. I imagine this is a coach talking at a press conference. They're asking him about Genty. I'm saying a coach like a Chip Kelly. This is a response a coach would have given. This is exactly the response a coach would have been given about a player such as Genty as our first pick in the draft. When I close my eyes and listen, I swear that's a coach talking. Geno is an extension of coaches, and that's what Chip Kelly said. This is the advantage we have. He's going to make sure everybody's on point. They're going to be in the right position at the right time and make sure, what did he say, y'all? All right, this is pause-worthy. Make sure the ball is in his hands. He makes sure the ball is in his hands. I told you it was pause-worthy. Don't think y'all was going to get anything less from Loon. For real, for real. Let me see. If you run your life in winning each day, you're on the path for success. This I can say can personally tell you, you can make good relationships along the way and team up. Facts. Shout out to Raiders Shield family, man. That's real shit. And that I believe in that. I believe the universe, the world is small, but the universe is limitless. You know what I mean? There's all kind of different possibilities that can happen in life. All kinds. And some shit are meant to be, good or bad. Sometimes bad shit deserve it. Is that a word? Some people, bad people deserves bad things to happen to them. And that's not a thought. That's facts. And good people deserve good things. So that's real shit, man. That's the realest shit I done heard in a minute. Let me see who else. Raider Peach is in the building. My girl holding it down. Hey, girl, I want some oatmeal. Let me quit. I've been begging for her oatmeal. She do that shit so perfect, especially when she has me smeared all over her body and lick it off. Man, now I'm fucking with y'all. Shout out to everybody, man. So yeah, man, that's all I want to bring to you was little things that caught my ear during the press conference that they had today. There was other people there, but I want to do the connection between Chip and Geno Smith because that's all so important for this offense to really make this team what it is. And I said everything is predicated around this offense. If they can get to the point of how we expect them and hope for them to be explosive, I don't think there's nobody that can stop us. I don't see no offense out there that have what we have. Now, you look at Philly and Saquon Barkley and them, and you got Jalen Hurts, but Hurts does not have the experience Geno Smith has. Hurts is still learning. And then I think for certain that Kansas City's window is closing. You only get a 5-year window. Because why I say 5 years? Because usually when you find your franchise quarterback, there's that 5th-year option. And after that 5th-year option, guess what happens? If he's done won a couple of Super Bowls already, Mahomes, then you got to give him that big payday, and that money draws from everything else on that roster into the quarterback position. Then you're going to have to restructure and all this other shit, but the money is still going. Patrick Mahomes had damn near, what, $500 million contract? Matter of fact, let's see. $500 million, bruh, for a quarterback over the tenure of his contract. Let me see. How much was Patrick Mahomes' contract worth? $450 million what Patrick Mahomes' extension was worth. $450 million. What does that do to the rest of your team? If you cannot hit on your draft picks, you're going to be, bruh, you're going to be in trouble. So you got to hit on your draft picks. And you got to have the personnel to hit on your draft picks with the scout department and so forth. So there's a lot that goes into it. Right now we have Geno. Geno's making about $35 million a year on a 3-year deal. You can be gone with him after 2. That's why I said Cam Miller was a good project piece for Chip Kelly. Let's see what Chip Kelly and Greg Olsen does with Cam Miller in development. And just because you got Cam Miller this year in the 6th rounder don't mean next year in the 1st you can't get Arch Manning or Lenore Sellers, somebody such as that, Taylon Green. There's dual threat quarterbacks all up and down the quarterback road in next year's draft. So they're going to be there. And a lot of teams in the NFL then already addressed the quarterback's position. So guess what? We're next. So just, slow down. Let's see what happens, man. I'm getting excited the closer we get to even preseason. But camp, I'm getting closer to beat the shit out the Niners. We get a joint camp with the Niners and get to beat the rainbow bright out their ass. Come on now. Come on. Vision is clear, especially when it's Raider Vision. Y'all check out Raider Vision, VIZION.com. Your one-stop shop for everything Raiders, man. Go check it out. Check out the different pages and what we got to offer, man. And if you're a content creator and you have a channel and it's not in Raider Vision, get at me at Raiders Allegiance. Matter of fact, go to Raider Vision at gmail.com, Raider Vision, VIZION at gmail.com. Let me know what your channel is, and I'll take care of it and put you on the content creator page so we can drive traffic to your page as well to get your subscribers up and make you noticeable to the people that are looking for Raider content, man. Thank you. All right, you said put bacon and maple syrup in your oatmeal. Shit, that wouldn't be too bad, bruh. I like the sugar and butter, but the bacon, you don't, boy, you can't threaten me with a good time. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody that pulled up, man. Once again, if this is your first time here, man, please subscribe to the channel. Tomorrow, most likely, will not be a show. There won't be a Friday night feature. There won't be a Lunatic Raiders show. This is my last episode forever. Thank you guys. I just wanted to make this announcement. Now I'm fucking with y'all. There won't be no show tomorrow. I got a lot on my plate to get ready for this concert on Saturday. So I got a lot of things to attend to and try to get done. And I'm working overtime tomorrow night as well. So I won't have time to do it. But best believe Saturday night after the Kendrick concert, late night with Lunatic Raider. Y'all keep your eyes open. Late night Saturday is on and cracking. Any other content creators want to pull up and act a fool with your boy? Hey, it's a green light. It's a green light, man. Y'all can fuck with your boy one time. But you guys enjoy your day, man. Happy Thursday. Hope all is well with you and yours, man. I will be back Saturday night. I'm going to make sure I do that. I might be a little lathered up in some liquor, like LL. Lathered in liquor. I'll be ready, man. But y'all pull up Saturday night, man. It'll probably be around. I say, fuck it. Let's do a 1 o'clock in the morning show. 1 o'clock in the morning show on Sunday morning, huh? Late, okay. It'll be late night Saturday and the Sunday morning. 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific. or AM, 1 o'clock AM Pacific, Sunday morning, late night with Lunatic Raider, man. I'll tell y'all about the concert. I'll even have some footage that I'm going to take as well, and I can share that with y'all too, and we'll drink and act a fucking ass. You feel me? So with that being said, man, you guys enjoy your Thursday. Be safe. Make it back home to your loved ones. And remember, like I always say, man, if nobody loves you, fuck them. I'm Lunatic Raider. This is Raiders Allegiance. You've been watching the Lunatic Raider show, man. And I'm out this bitch. Ha ha.